Now, from the On Your Side investigators.
My eyes are wide open when I go into a vet's office now.
And yours will be too after this report from the On Your Side investigators. After all, you trust Fido or Fluffy's life to them. So how do you know your vet is well vetted?
On Your Side investigator Chelsea Kopta has the results of a troubling new state audit. And Chelsea, a lot of pet owners will probably be surprised to learn that criminal background checks of veterinarians are not checked by their licensing board in Oregon.
As were we, and when we started digging even deeper, we found out some of those vets have criminal histories. One vet was convicted of assault, another had his license revoked for abusing animals, and all of these vets have access to powerful and dangerous drugs.
I was shocked. I mean, I was really scared, really scared. I felt really unsafe.
Dorinda O'Keefe isn't describing a robbery or some type of threat to her personal safety. She's talking about a simple trip to the vet, one she took with her Rottweiler, Sammy, 12 years ago. This is video from 2008, when K2 first introduced you to the pair.
He picked her up, literally turned her over and slammed her on the ground.
Why?
Because he said she tried to bite him when he was reaching for her.
Dorinda filed a complaint against the vet, Dr. Dan Kohler, who owned a chain of companion pet clinics. Kohler is notorious in the vet community. His license revoked in 2010.
Something was seriously wrong with that man.
That's animal law attorney Jordy Duckler. Duckler believes Dr. Kohler is the poster child for why Oregon should run criminal background checks on all veterinarians before they can be licensed here.
You know, you guys are...
K2 News first confronted Kohler in 2008.
How did her dog chew off his own tail while it was under your care?
We discovered before he was a vet in Oregon, his license was revoked twice in California. First for animal cruelty, then again for using veterinary drugs on himself.
Even if he were an aberration, and no vet would ever do anything like that, and even all the background checks in the world reveal that really there's no more Dr. Kohlers out there. Still, why aren't we looking to make sure that that's true?
Why doesn't the vet board run criminal background checks?
Yeah. There are a couple of reasons why.
Dr. Emilio DeBess is the Oregon State veterinarian. He's also a former member of Oregon's vet board. DeBess says there's a system of checks and balances that begins in vet school. He says students go through a rigorous screening process that weighs both good grades and good character. He also says any disciplinary action taken against a vet is reported to a national vet database.
So by the time the individual actually asks for a license, we will have a lot of that information ahead of time.
But even he admits more can be done.
In your opinion, do you feel like a background check would have found those red flags in Dr. Kohler's past?
Well, I think the information that we got was through California. Potentially we could have found out about it.
The On Your Side investigators requested disciplinary records from the Oregon Veterinary Board for the last 3 years. Those records reveal the board has disciplined a few dozen veterinarians and vet techs during that time for things like using excessive force on an animal and not using accepted treatments. But only 2 vets have had their licenses suspended, and only 1 actually surrendered her license. We also flagged 1 vet with a criminal record, Dr. Sonny Rendawa. He runs one of those companion pet clinics in the St. John's neighborhood in Portland. Last year, the board fined Rendawa for failing to mention on his license renewal application that he was convicted of assaulting one of his employees in 1999. A year before that, Rendawa's license was suspended after he admitted to the abuse of a controlled substance, hydrocodone. The DEA flagged him as a top purchaser of hydrocodone in the state. He was unable to produce dispensing records and admitted the drugs started as pain control for an injury and was out of control.
And it would have been actually a good idea to find that information right away.
When I asked the Oregon State veterinarian how much a criminal background check would have cost, he told me $40 to $50.
If the cost is relatively low and the risk could be high to the public, then why not?
And that's completely reasonable. If the risk is high and the cost, whatever the cost may be, you should go ahead and go forward and do that.
The vet board is actually meeting this Saturday to reconsider background checks.
This is her happy face.
That would be a relief to pet owners like Dorinda.
She was just a really good dog to have around. She was sweet.
She says Sammy died of old age a few years ago.
Herbie.
She's since adopted a new dog.
It's okay.
And she's more protective of this little one than ever.
I've seen what happened in the past, and that's not going to happen to to Ruby.
Well, I did reach out to Dr. Rendawa. He declined an on-camera interview, but told me he's always maintained his innocence because 3 people put him somewhere else during the alleged incident. He also admitted he made a mistake not marking the box that he'd been convicted of a crime. And finally, he said he's very passionate about helping pets and their owners heal. That meeting where the vet board reconsiders background checks is this Saturday. So we will stay on top of it and see what the board decides.
We're focusing on Oregon. What about other states? Do they do background checks on vets?
Yes, they do. I did a lot of research into this. Washington does, California, even Idaho. So Oregon is a bit of an outlier that way.
Eye-opening report, Chelsea. Thank you.
Oregon Secretary of State also flagged 2 other medical boards that don't background check: occupational therapy and speech pathology. To see the web exclusive story by the On Your Side investigators, go to KATU.com.